Addiction, noun. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. Synonym, dependency. The phrase, weed ruined my life, comes out of my mouth every time I exhale, followed by a dry cough. I pass the blunt to the left out of habit. I've been doing this shit for years. My friends always ask me why I feel that way and look at me with confused, bloodshot eyes, questioning why I would ever dare to question the stigma of marijuana. We don't speak of it. The blunt has found itself in my hands again. I inhale the words, I don't know, it just did, followed by a shrug of my shoulders. In my head, the thought that I skipped out on dinner for this smoke sesh, or that I was in the same exact place, in the same exact forest, with the same exact people, doing the same exact thing last night and the night before that, and the night before that passes through my mind, but this time, I pass the blunt to the right, just to switch things up. Now, these are just thoughts. These are not things I bring up to my peers who enjoy weed just as much as I do, and that's a little too much. You do not point out to your peers that all we do is waste gas, waste money, waste our parents' trust, waste time doing the same exact thing every single day. I'm not saying that weed is a gateway drug, but please consider it to be a gateway to bad habits. Let me explain. I'm that devil on your shoulder convincing you to ditch six because I'm trying to smoke G, and I'm that bad influence that lets my impulsiveness get the best of me. But the sad part about this whole thing is that a G of weed isn't enough for me anymore. Time to cop an OZ, flip it, smoke half. Next thing you know, you're blowing through QPs with your homies by the time you turn 18 in your friend's minivan, no seatbelt, blunt cruising down 83, and maybe that's just me. But please understand that this weed shit affects people differently. I will never understand the people who are given a new set of eyes after tripping on LSD, or that a blunt made them productive, because all that shit ever did was make me lazy. And I'm not saying that I'm a drug addict, but can we talk about the tendencies like taking a couple bucks out of my parents' wallet and denying that it was ever me? When behavior becomes sneaky because, hey mom, can I have 40 bucks please? Looks a lot like, yo, how much you run your ace for, G? Spending less and less time with your family, losing interest in your daily activities, having difficulties forming sentences, deeper thoughts, finishing and starting things, random stuttering, sleeping too much, and when you wake up you're still sleepy, not keeping up with your hygiene or your weekly workout routine, not retaining information, forgetting things, suppression in creativity, lack of writing poetry. I guess over time this turned into a coping mechanism for me. If I pick up weed, then people will chill with me, which means I'll feel less lonely. And if a blunt's in rotation, then we can avoid all the awkward silences and anxieties. And if I'm always out, then that means less time at home, which means away from all the fighting. It creates a barrier so you don't actually know what's going on with me. As far as you know, I'm happy, and you just got to smoke a blunt that was rolled by yours truly. It's getting to the point where I don't know how to be social if a blunt's not in rotation, you know. They say that weed brings you together, but I haven't felt more distant from my family in my whole life than I have my senior year of high school. And I know it probably seems like I hate this shit because realistically I could never quit. I just blame that mental dependency that I apparently have on it. I'm just undecided with whether or not I am for this shit or against it, whether or not they should legalize it. I just feel like these doctors and psychologists should look a little bit more into it and realize how badly it's affecting kids without them even knowing it. There are legit statistics that show that marijuana kills brain cells and slows motor skills, but that doesn't pop up on the Google search bar when you type about it. I'm not saying that weed's a bad thing. I'm just saying that some people let it become their number one priority, making it a bad habit. It's a vicious cycle, or should I call it a rotation, when you let weed become your lifestyle. And like I said, bad habits are hard to break, but they're also easy to pick up. So don't ask me if I smoke, because all I'm going to say is, wow, you trying to toke? And maybe if you're lucky, I'll even let you hit my blunt.